right, we'll call to order the Accounting Finance Committee meeting for January 12th. It's 5:30. First on the agenda is the benchmark CD that is, I guess, expired now, I guess you'd say.
It has matured. Okay. So we withdrew and received a check in the amount of $5,400,000, plus or minus a few bucks, but it was 5.4, and of that amount, $158,000 is interest. Okay. So when we go back and look at the principal, the things that we do not need to put back into a long-term investment tool would be the $1 million for ARPA for the armory, because that's in there. And we have $370,000 saved up between the town's contributions and the state, the county providing us with apparatus money that we have saved up for the portion of the new fire truck engine, which the guys are going to look at apparently in February, that the firemen are going to take a look at. That does have a significant amount of grant money associated with it from USDA. I think the total price of the truck was in excess of $700,000, and we were putting up cash. There was grant, and then there's a loan component in addition, and I expect that we will close on that deal with USDA. In February, I assume the truck will still be up there, so sometime after February when we have delivery of the truck. So the actual amount is going to be more like $4 million that we're looking at. It may be a little less because you got to take out the interest and those kinds of things, but it's going to be perhaps about 3.85. Okay.
So over the course of the 2.5 years we've had it in there, we've made 319 because we've taken 2 withdrawals out. Oh, right.
Yeah. That may be right. It is in excess of $300,000. Now, when do we use some of that? If you look at the dates for the drawdowns, some of that was in 2020 when we needed cash and that sort of thing, but we haven't touched it in the last 12 months.
Say you did the good thing, and Jennifer, good stewards of the money for Blackstone. So to make $320,000 off of money that was just going to be sitting there
for 3 years.
3 years.
Now, we received that 5.4, so there'll be about 385 roughly that will need to go into some vehicle. Right now it's sitting in a money market account at Citizens Bank, and that money is drawing 0.25% interest.
We were getting
2.58 from benchmark. But
you'll never get that now.
No. So
VML Baco's rates the other day, what, they were
0.11. At VML, which is supposed to be kind of a more aggressive investment tool.
Philip the other day, though, I almost feel like maybe we should leave it sitting or either put it in something not long term, because with the rates going up, so they're saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything long term for sure. If you do a CD with any of it, I wouldn't do
So
anything.
we haven't gotten anything. This is the request right here. We haven't submitted anything.
No, we have not asked for any banks that we didn't know if you wanted to stay local, go big. Did we want to do the RFP or?
All depends on dollar. If someone local can offer a good rate, better than anyone else,
So
let's
we'll
go.
just bring it back to you to look at the rates that everybody submitted.
Put out an
and we'll
RFP
decide.
and see where it's out there. Yeah, and
We're not committing to it. I mean, we don't.
we can cast a pretty wide net through Davenport or one of these other guys. We can see. If,
I don't want us to be going to Davenport and pay these big fees that we have
Well,
to.
what we did last time, I think when we bid out the general fund to just check fees and stuff, I just sent them this, and then they just responded by the date. So I was gonna try to get it for you guys before the next council meeting. So if I get them to turn it back into me by the 19th, we should have it for then.
because we have 2 locals and BB&T is going to be gone relatively soon. We can send it to additionals. We can send it to Carter Bank, and
Well, the VML Baco rate, I can do that as the third bid if you don't.
if that's what you like. If you'd like to at least
I think reach whoever we have contacts with.
anybody we've had contact, Signature Public Funding, finance the
Reach
refi,
out to them.
and
I don't think we need to stop. I want
At
to
the
go
border.
local,
I don't
but
think it needs to go to a consultant, I can just.
no.
y'all
Reach
figure
out to
it
who we have contacts with.
and it's Signature Public Funding, so refinanced the water plant deal that we had. Remember, oh my God, we got to make this payment in June of 2020 or in August of 2020, and we refied to this Signature Public Funding. All right, and we'll come back to you and let you know if anything better than 0.25% shows up. Okay.
All right, and then we have this the 2023 bus budget.
I'm just gonna sit
Mary
right there.
Murphy is here to make a presentation.
Yes, our very first one.
Have you met Mary before?
All right. So, on behalf of Babs, I am seeking approval for our upcoming FY23 proposed budget in the amount of $898,631. Of that total, the town obligation is the $53,100. But under that, you'll see we did the use of fund balance for the increase of the 10,000. So the town portion stays the same as this current FY22.
Say fund balance. What's remaining from this past year's budget, or?
So, in our audit, I had noticed the bus fund had done really good, and I was like, oh, we didn't do anything different. Well, they had got a lot of funding for CARES through DRPT, and then so any money from selling buses or scrap or anything like that the bus does, it goes in the reserve, and she's got a good chunk to use towards this overage.
Is that the 10,000, or
Yes.
we got over and above that?
We have over above
Okay.
that. So we're just gonna supplement that to offset this increase.
And I read that next year, it would be a significant increase to locality. I don't know if I read that correct or not. Was it?
Are you talking about the bus?
Yeah,
No.
I don't know.
Think about utility rates.
Gotcha, no. So it would actually technically, town's obligation would remain the same.
As the
because
current
we're using
FY.
Because we're using the fund.
Yeah.
Correct, yes.
But the actual cost did go up, and a lot of that is because of the inflation and operating, but we're gonna try to keep it flat, cause we're hoping the costs are gonna go back down and we won't
What's
see
your
it.
capital going up 100,000? Is that new buses coming in, or?
So 83,000 of my capital is for a bus. The 98,000 is for the continuing shelter project that we're doing. There was a pretty significant increase in the concrete price, so that's kind of why that is going up so
And
much.
how many shelters is that 98 again?
It's 7, yeah. So we already have the shelters.
I feel like we've been talking about these shelters for
Yes.
You
That was a project that Josh had started, and he had originally quoted $2,500 for the concrete installation. I don't know where that number came from exactly, but when I had worked with Philip, I think December it was, of last year, he had quoted us $14,000 per bus, per pad of bus shelter, so.
I would hope we also get a second.
Oh,
Quote
we've got
on-
to get it, yeah.
okay.
I mean, we just called Jason and said, here's the specification, this is where they're at.
And it's
we're
just a
gonna prioritize.
placeholder, cause I think we have to follow the federal procurement stuff,
Right.
so we're gonna have to advertise. and
Gotcha.
Do all that fun stuff.
We're not planning on increasing cost to ride a bus or anything.
No, sir, no.
Is it still 50 cents or 25 cents?
It's 50 cents for the Blackstone and then the Fort Pickett line, and then it's $1 for all of the other routes. So, I think that's mainly, as far as the highlights and everything of the packet that I had put together, I think that mainly covers it.
I think maybe you wanna go over the salaries, the COLA, the cost of living, just so they know it's in there. You guys know we put stuff in, but you really,
You don't, we went through it
Finalize
last
it.
year. It doesn't get approved until,
she needs to submit it.
correct. Before we go there, when you look at all the other bus lines, their increase is going up as well. Is their local match going up? Will we have an issue, is what I'm asking, of the other localities?
Well, that's what we were just discussing. She's gotta send out her letters for the local match. I don't think it was ever given much thought to what to ask for, and so her and I were discussing. I'm kinda thinking, cause this is really a 6% increase, and it's across the board, it's on salaries, it's on, that's just cause that's what is being recommended, but the operating, all her materials and oils and filters, everything's just skyrocketed.
Surprised it's not more, to be honest.
So I think her letters may say, you might have contributed 10 for FY22, but due to the increase of cost, we're asking you to increase your contribution by 6%, the same. But we could offset it with the fund balance too. We
I like
just-
to use the fund balance for ourselves.
That's true. So she may draft up that letter, whether they accept it or not. It's the same budget process we are,
Correct,
so
okay.
we have not, we're gonna sit down with Philip and see what we should ask.
Yeah.
Cause I don't think Jennifer Beck or, Josh really explained where they got those numbers from.
Could somebody eventually, could Brunswick bus line end up saying, all right, we're out, and then does it mess up us, or what?
From the research that I had done when I had started looking at Josh's files, Brunswick, well, SVCC, I guess, is technically our big source there. And as far as I know, they have been pretty okay with any fund balance that Josh had requested for. So they've never been, I guess, like back and forth or questioning
I
stuff.
think the only one he ever had an issue with was Nottaway, when he wanted to add that line,
Right.
the extra day.
Yeah.
They wouldn't increase their
Imagine
contribution.
What a shocker.
All right. And then you said you wanted to go over the cost of living.
Which, we just wanted to let you guys know that that's where that increase came from.
Gotcha. Which is that 6%.
Correct.
Right.
And then you did tell them about the part-time.
Yeah, so the thing that I did add, if you look on the salary portion of the budget printout, I was proposing to, yeah, I think it's, when you get to the budget section, it's the
It's
third
next to the
page.
last page of
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
document.
So in that section, I was proposing to add a part-time admin help. So this would average, pretty much doing essentially the same thing that Janet had been doing. They would average about 24 hours weekly, probably taking,
Per paycheck.
or yeah,
Oh,
per
yeah.
paycheck, okay, yeah. And then that hourly rate is 14. So that's the only thing that I really added as far as budgeting. Of course, I mean, there's a lot of changes,
One
but
But I'm not sure that she added it. I think Josh had asked for one too. But you know, he had asked for a lot of different things in those salaries that didn't get passed through our budget, so
Yeah.
it's real hard.
Well,
for
one
her.
plus is I don't see that you gave yourself a 30, 40, 50% raise. So that's-
no, I did not. That 6% is flat across the board for everybody,
Thank you.
so.
All right.
So do you guys, can you make a recommendation or you
Recommendation.
wanna wait?
No, I mean, I don't see anything. Last year, I think we waited a little bit
Just
because
let
we,
them know about the salary increase.
We did.
We did,
Did you?
right, the 6% includes like the operating costs
like
and
a
salaries.
bus driver will go, most of them will go from $16 to almost 17. So it's your 6%.
But what happens with the whole town budget? I don't anticipate a 6% raise from. the
Correct. No,
town,
this is,
so-
we're,
This is just to
we have to do
cover
the
it.
max, from what I
Yes,
understand from
correct.
Josh last
There
year.
you go, you understand.
We have to
So if
submit
don't
for the
ask, we don't
max.
get it.
Right,
And so the
And then we can
feds
come
had
down and divide.
recommended, I think they finally released 5.9.
Correct.
So we just wanna cover whatever he recommends, and you guys come up, yep, it's just
Yeah.
a place.
We can always go down, but you can't go up once you
It
submit
can
to
go
the
down,
feds.
I can't go up.
right.
So you're fine, you recommend it?
I do. I move. All those in favor? Aye. All
Can I
right.
just ask, just clarify how you asked about the local matches? Is it your wish that we do ask them to increase to 6% so she can send her letters out?
I mean, I don't think, I mean, the buses are going to their localities to hopefully bring revenue to their,
Oh, I'm sure they're seeing it in their budget
Yeah.
stuff too. I just didn't know, we wanna try to keep them flat.
I would think so. I mean, it's coming from us, it should come from them as well.
Sure, yep. She just wanted to try to get those.
Yeah, I have one that's due on Friday, so we'll have to get that out pretty soon.
And if it's 6% to us, it should be.
Oh, I agree. I just wanted to make sure it came from y'all. Okay.
Pick up, good idea.
All right. Is that it for account finance? You have nothing, Phil?
I've got plenty, but
No.
15 minutes ain't gonna
No,
cut.
it's not gonna be enough.
Do you have any questions about finances with them?
No.
I'm happy to answer any.
I'm anxious to see the CD rates.
And,
And like I said, I think we need to stay, if we do put it back in a CD, let it be very short term. Cause I think you're gonna see rates in the next 6 months jump up drastically, I feel like.
from what I hear on TV.
Do you want me to just ask them for the 12-month instead of, I normally ask for 12, 18, and 24.
I don't even
just
know if it's even worth going to anything over 12 months, to be
I
honest.
go 6 and 12.
Do 6 and 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Short term better. we don't wanna tie up the money for 3 years and then the rates double. All right, if there's nothing else, yeah, hang on. We'll adjourn the meeting at 5:45.
Yeah, heard of it?
Yay.